Well, our next guest is someone who really doesn't need any introduction. He's been in the media space for as long as I can remember. He stars in a new movie called A Lagos Love Story. And he was holding the Real Housewives of Lagos accountable just this past weekend and will be doing so again this weekend. Thank you so much for being in the studio with us. Uti Nwachukwu, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
wow, we've been talking about it for such a long time. I'm glad that we've finally been able to do this, and
right?
the timing.
I've been saying I wanted to come to your show.
Yeah, it's perfect as well.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the new movie.
Thank you.
Let's start with that. A Lagos Love Story. I mean, I started watching it. I'm not done. I'm not gonna lie.
What?
I'm not done.
How dare you?
Because they took the life. How about that?
It's strong.
Band what?
Band C.
F.
It was just like, don't mind me, it was just like a thing, but by the time they put it back on, I was like, okay, I'll just finish it. Then we wait for Good Friday, you know, and then watch it with a glass of wine, you know what I mean? But I've definitely seen like clips, of course, I've watched the trailer, and there's been, you know, some of the clips that Netflix put up where it's like you are the one that is antagonizing the lead character. Tell us more about the Lagos Love Story, you know, what people should be expecting when they watch it, and you know, just what that experience was like.
Okay, so where do I start from, Mike? The character I play. So I play the manager to a very modern Nigerian artist. Like, think of it as your Gen Z or younger millennial artist, you know, and you know, he has his entourage, you know, your typical Niger Afrobeat star. And then there's this hustling girl, not hustle like Niger terms of hustling, no, like. Because let me correct something, because something like that happened in the movie. But like, you know, a hardworking young girl from a, I would say, lower middle class, right? And you know, one situation led to another. She had to be part of his entourage, basically to make sure he did things he was supposed to do at the right time. And the love starts to brew between them. So I play the manager who's trying to protect, you know, their hustle, because they are ghetto boys who've hustled and grown to a point where they now have a lot of money.
Not a ghetto boy fall in love.
Yes, I can fall in love, but that's why it's called a Lagos love story, because at the end of the day, there's a transaction added to love in Lagos. And so this babe was coming around this guy. I play Mayowa. Mayowa is like, where are you coming from? You know? And so he's just trying to protect. Mayowa is so misunderstood. He's just trying to protect their hustle. He's trying to protect their earnings. And so he's the enemy of love. He's the anti-love. He's the, you want to come and chop all the money that we've been hustling for. So what I did was to remember all the mean senior students in secondary school and in this industry. I'm sure you guys have come across some really obnoxious managers. You know, exactly, doing what we do. So I just had to remember all the times I felt so like irritated to my stomach. And then I tapped into that. And then I also brought in my South influence. You know, I'm half Delta, half Rivers. I grew up in Sapele, and I schooled in Benin. So I tapped into that, hence you see a lot of ad-libs with my insults and my washing and all of that. I have a lot of people messaging me, "Scrap, where was the last time I heard the word scrap?"
Actually, that's what I wanted to ask. Like, you just brought back a word that I've forgotten. That word scraps. Like, because I actually watched the movie. I watched the whole movie. That was last week, and I had time. I was like, let me watch this movie.
I'm sure you watched it. There was no Netflix and chill.
No.
Did you share with my feet?
No, actually, I was working while I was watching
doing
this.
research.
Oh, you shit.
He was doing research for the interview.
No, I was watching. So that's scraps. I was like, what the heck you call her scraps? The first I'm like,
Excuse me.
That word, like,
Brings back
I've not heard that
memories.
word in a long time. That word is a very Asian.
It's Asian.
So, so that's what I wanted to ask. Like, is it like they gave you like freedom to play Mayowa? Because I mean, that kind of thing. I don't know if it's to go by a script. So how much freedom do you get, you know, on on set of the movie?
I worked with a very great director, Naz. Shout out Naz. You know, I worked with Naz. Naz is an absolute like wonderful human being. He's not like your cutthroat director that'll say my way or the highway. So before shooting any scene, I say, bros, how far can I go with this? He's like, play with it. I'm like, okay. He's like, okay, show me what you want to do. And then I'll show him and he'll be like, oh, go ahead. And if he didn't like anything, he'll say, more like, I don't want it to be like, so it's more like, but he gave me a lot of creative freedom. He gave me the freedom to be whoever, he said, bring Mayowa to life based on how you understand him. Because before every scene, or before we even started shooting, he will ask, you've read the script, who is Mayowa? why is Mayowa like this? What is Mayowa trying to protect? What's the message Mayowa is passing? So he would make you like embody the character before coming on set. And I would say, and I'm not just saying it because this is the movie, because I'm going to do another movie tomorrow with someone else. But so far, so good. This has been the best production I've ever worked on.
Oh, wow.
I told him. And I was suspecting, I was like, well, let's just say, this thing, how much? Yes, I was. So, and I mean, the production, state-of-the-art equipment, you know, you're looking at all the cranes and the cameras and the scenes, the extras. I can't like tell you how much or how many messages I've gotten to say. The concert scenes were so real, and they were that real. In fact, that concert scene where King Kato jumps and he gets attacked. Yes, where he gets attacked. That was my birthday. And right after that scene, the whole crowd started singing. They surprised me, happy birthday to you. But I was so focused on my phone recording that I forgot to cry. Because I was feeling the lump in my throat, but I said, I will never. So yeah, it was really good. And that's why you should see this movie. It's a family movie. Yeah. There's good music. The music was original. All of Kato's songs are original. Yes, produced by Ivy Pulse. I hope I'm not getting it wrong. All original songs. They're on Spotify. They're on Apple. They're on all platforms. You can download them. Real Afrobeat songs. There
was a part that was like, you guys should leave. The part where they met and they just like hit themselves and they fell.
Became dramatic.
I'm like, what's all this?
I know. It was that. It's supposed to be the good, corny kind of mush.
Yeah.
Which is why my character in the movie would like.
Ikena's heart is just, it has been hardened.
No, Lagos
women have hardened his heart.
Hence the Lagos love story.
Yes.
Because in the part
what you need to soften you up.
Move out of Lagos if you want to be soft for love. Because at the end of this day, right, part of this movie is that the babe still asks for money. When my character, being the demon in the movie, asked her, say, how much she wants. I want you to, you know. And she called the price. Even though she, let me not spoil it. No spoilers.
Let's
no
keep
spoilers.
some.
Let's put some.
Yeah, let's
but there was money involved somewhere.
I mean, money is always involved, you know.
But should it be like that?
No, I mean, in everything, not just in love.
So no finance, no romance without finance.
No. I don't subscribe to that. But let us shift gears a bit, because even just now, just check somebody saying, ask him about the real housewife. Because then again, that's why we have you on the show, because you're someone who is just so multi-dimensional. You have your hand everywhere.
And it wasn't a plan. Like, it wasn't the plan, because this weekend everything just came out at the same time. Friday the movie dropped. Sunday part one of the reunion dropped.
Yeah, because you've been grinding. You've been grinding behind the scenes.
So I didn't expect it.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Everybody, especially all the tweets that I saw during the live showings and even after that, really just commended the way you were able to, because when you have those kind of strong, beautiful, smart women in that room, it could be a lot, and you were able to just really move the conversation on. Do you think it's just something that comes to you naturally? How are you able to navigate that? And how can you explain to people that don't really understand what it means to actually be the one leading that conversation and trying to get to the bottom of some very important things that happen in the season?
And I love the last part of that statement, because a lot of people just sit in their homes and they just like, he should have, she should have. Yeah. You don't know what it's like until you're thrust in there. It's almost like when you're on Big Brother and people are like, if I were in that house, and then they're put in the house and they're like, hey, they're overwhelmed.
Exactly, yeah.
So another big shout out I'll give is to my sisters. I grew up with 4 older sisters. Diverse personalities, really strong women. Yes. So growing up as the last born, their baby brother, and they did not alienate me. They always allowed me to be part of their discussions. They'll be gisting in their room and I'll just be sitting and observing. And that's also how I learned to understand women and of course, when they had disagreements, I'll be privy to that too. Yeah. So for me, for The Real Housewife, the first season, I felt like a fish out of water at first, because it hit me all at once, because I was like, oh, so this is it. But, I still managed to navigate and do, my job is simple, accountability. Find and demand accountability first. And then if you're not going to be accountable, another cast member is going to also demand that accountability. Yeah. So my style was this, I could go in there and just be a boss presenter and a host, and just pit them against each other, be messy, be nasty. That is so easy. But above all of this, you have all that boss and drama on the show. Let's focus on healing. Yeah. So my strategy was demand accountability and encourage healing, because that's what we need more than ever now as adults. Are the women going to be vulnerable enough to want to heal? And if they're not going to be vulnerable enough to heal, are they going to be bold enough to own that part of them to say, no, I want to be savage, I'm going to remain savage, this person and I, we don't mix? And that's okay. I just want people to see a version of themselves in each cast member, because these women are all wonderful souls on the inside, and we all have different personalities. Fine, if you want to vilify someone, you have to take a look at yourself too, because projection is real. And that's another thing I try to bring out amongst the housewives. So if you're vilifying your fellow cast member, have you looked in the mirror? Exactly. And are you projecting yourself on this cast member? And are you bold enough to be accountable?
Well, Uti, how do you, because I know it can't, you obviously have to go in there and be objective. Yes. You can't let the audience know who you like or who you don't like.
Do you have a favorite? The problem is that I like all of them.
No, but I'm sure that even when I say who you like,
okay, I promise you.
Most diplomatic.
No. But you know me. But you know me. But I've never been one to.
No, so okay, so if I say who you like, I don't mean like you hate somebody, but you know, in like a certain situation, some things are clear. Like, and one thing I'm going to bring up is this matter of these boats or no boats, right? Whether we like it or not, now this is someone that claimed and said, okay, this is my boat. Yeah. Then on the reunion show, she's like, oh, let me take it back to the beginning. It's actually someone's boat. In that moment, don't you want to just be like, mama, but just say the truth.
So in that moment,
how do you hold yourself back to still be professional about it?
In that moment, the professional Uti is still going to say, because me, I'll say, really? Because if you watch that scene, I said, okay, fine. It was a big issue online, and my responsibility as the host is to get the truth, or to give you the platform to say, I don't want to say the truth.
And show us the flashback
and
videos.
That's from the production.
That's production. And a little mess in there.
Just sprinkle. So for me, I just wanted to find out from all the questions. Because, yes, even if it's your boat, is it family owned? Was it a gift? Was it, because it was a big issue. It was a thing of, don't say I rented a boat, it's my boat. So I had to get that out. And not only that, all other issues that seemed unanswered. So if there's anything that was left like unanswered or that left people wondering, my job as the presenter and the host of the reunion is to bring clarity to that issue. So if there was any beef or any tension, underground tension, I will ask, what's up? What's up with this tension? What has this person done? I believe as adults, we should be able to express ourselves and communicate, Well, disagreements will happen. How you handle them is a true testament of your character.
And you handled it well.
I just tried. I did my best to like steer the ship in the right direction. And you know what? I gave all the cast members, that opportunity to either clear the air or declare that this is where I stand. And I wasn't trying to make anybody look messy or seem, no. I actually do like all of them, because before I became the host of the show, I was actually watching the show. I'm a huge fan of reality. So you know how it feels to now go in and see all the people you love. And Real Housewives is almost like, for me, I don't see a villain or this person is bad or this person is so good. I just see different personalities. Like how when you're cooking soup, you have Maggi, you have salt, but you also have pepper. And the soup without pepper will be bland. Do you understand what I mean? So it's a perfect mix. And I love all of them. Ooh, that's me.
Okay, so you just said you're a fan of reality. Now, in general, in Nigeria, reality TV is something that I would say before, in the past, people used to suck up to reality TV compared to what it is now. Do you feel like the buzz around, reality TV has died down a bit? There was something like, you guys were like God. Remember your set when you emerged with now Big Brother. And, down to this time, we still remember you from that time. But now, this current crop of... exactly, this current... It's been a long time. But we still remember those that, like you, Karen, we still remember those that actually won. But this current crop of, Big Brother, not just Big Brother, reality show generally, we hardly keep up.
Leave Big Brother alone. Leave them, they're doing their best.
That's why I say it's not just Big Brother. Just say generally.
Which other one?
You have Ultimate Love. You have...
Ultimate Love is just one season.
It's there. You have a good Ultimate Search. You have even this Real Housewives of Lagos. People don't really keep up with them so much. People do, but... Don't get me wrong. Wait. What I'm trying to say is like the popularity, what it used to be before. There was a time like when you see a reality star on the street, the person is like a god. I don't know if you understand. They were like,
Superstars.
Yes, but now it's like, I don't know, I don't want to say it's being watered down.
So, you know why you feel like that? Is because you live in Lagos. Because this is how someone who lives in LA would react when they see their stars. Because everybody in LA is a struggling star. Everybody in LA, your server, the person that's packing your car, the person that's serving your food, the person that is even taking your luggage up to your hotel, they're all up and coming actors. Yeah. And fortunately, that's what Lagos has become. One of the factors I would say is social media. Social media has demystified everyone and everybody and everything.
So
social media, so I mean, those days before you can see,
now.
yes, now those days to see or read anything about any personality, you will have to buy these soft sell magazines or wait for interviews like this or interviews in credible papers, because soft sells were doing a lot more damage than even these blogs are doing now.
But do you think they are the ones that caused it? Like why they made themselves too accessible?
No, it's not about too
common.
It is part of the culture. Because if you say you want to stay away from social media, you will fizzle out. So you have to be part of the culture. Like I said, because you're in Lagos, you think it has died down. Take the same people that you people in Lagos have seen finish. Take them to another city. Don't even take them too far. Take them, you know, you guys say Abuja has this reputation that they don't show love. Take them to Abuja and see the love. I know the love I get when I go to Abuja. Take them to Delta. Take them to Rivers. Yes, Nigerians will not be trampled upon. Nobody's going to look at you like a god and say you can speak to me anyway or be a snob. Just like how I demand accountability, people have started to demand accountability from the personalities that they love and admire. Exactly. So yes, social media has watered that mystery down because, you know, lack of mystery, they cause small C finish. Which is why sometimes when people comment some things, you know, you see a lot of personalities say, in real life, you cannot say this thing to my face. Which is true. You can't. So social media is a leveler. It has leveled a lot of people. However, there are lots of reality shows that are still popping, like she said, like Real Housewives. Yeah, now, to you, and you might have a predominantly male social circle, but amongst the females, they watch. They watch. I didn't even know.
Watch it.
Yeah, some guy. But I'm saying, like, you know what I mean. But I'm saying, if you know I did not know how many people were watching. If you know the amount of messages and message requests that came in on Sunday, I was like, Jesus. Some people say, some people even attack first. Yeah. Why didn't you say this? The next thing I'm saying is, God bless you for this. I'm like, wow, you know. So people are watching. As for Big Brother, it still has the buzz because every time, not as much as before, like I said, social media, but that has more to do with the housemates. If they're not as loved as before, it has more to do with the housemates. I think a lot of people go into the house in recent times just to they go in being conscious of their brand. Yeah. In our time, we weren't as conscious as that. We just went in there to show who we were, you know, authentically. We were raw, we were unfiltered. We did not care about the social media reaction because there was no social media to be worried about. Exactly. What did we have then? There was just the rise of Twitter, then Facebook. Yeah, you get. But now with Instagram, TikTok, you know, you name it. So now a lot of them go in, they have this idea and image of who they want to be when they come out, how they're going to dress, how they're going to look, and all of that. So that also takes away some authenticity from your personality, which is why the ones that dare to be raw and unfiltered, they are the ones that stand out. Like if you look at this past season, when you think off the top of your head, you think Hani and Wandi, you think Nelly and Bonu, you think, what's the name of those two guys with Nelly and Anita, you think Topher, you think Suj, you think, you know, those are the ones that came out to show, even if you were kind of low-key, just being authentic enough to show that this is who I am, and I really don't care how you guys perceive me because this is me, zero apologies. I think that's the concept, that's the right formula to be a loved reality star.
Fantastic, and I couldn't have put it better myself. Thank you so much. I can't wait for
part two.
Hey. You don't give us any expo before we go?
Just tune in.
Just tune in.
All I would say is...
Quickly, before we go, I want to ask this question about defamation. Yeah. You know, talk about social media, how it's been a leveler for people. Yeah. Now, I've seen a lot of, stars being trolled on social media. Oh, yeah. For you, you've been around for, you said 15 years since you...
They started trolling us from newspapers, to soft sell, to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
How have you been able to handle them, number one? Then, don't you sometimes feel like suing some people? Take, for example, there are times that they will call you on social media, even call people out, and Twitter people, they are very messy. Don't you feel like sometimes, in the bid to clear your name and not have them tarnish your image? Have you ever felt like suing somebody? Oh, there's some posts that I've seen, many crazy posts.
The thing is, it depends on what they say. No, it depends on what they say. If it's very trivial, if it's doesn't have to do with killing someone or you know, trying to take away someone's rights. Who cares? Say what you want to say. I mean, a personality without false rumors is a failed personality. Think of every majorly successful human being in the world. There's always the dark side. They say, oh, the dark side of Shaitan's life. You know, and you'll be like, what? You know, that's how you know you're successful. The only time I've ever had to go the legal route was when a stupid bot account just came up with some insidious tweets about taking advantage of her. And I was in America at that time. Yeah, so I had to just file that. And I said, okay, we're not playing here. You understand? But otherwise, the truth about it is that, and I've said it before, people who have the time to come online and spread false rumors or to attack you or to insult you, they are people who are suffering on the inside. You can't project what you do not have. So why do you want to respond to a non-entity except you just want to have fun with it? Because some days you want to have fun with the trolls.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I've said it in one of my posts, real successful people, they don't have time for this. The only time they have to do, the only things they have time for are to build themselves, build their legacies, and encourage other people. Right. Up until this morning, I still talk to someone, a friend of mine, who left a comment. It wasn't so bad, but it had a tone to it. And I was like, why? Why would you join people to hate on someone who hasn't done anything to you?
All right, thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.